writer, as his Flannery O'Connor once wrote, "To the hard of hearing, you shout." And I think that's what God's doing in this first reading that we just heard. What's with that? Other than content for the lyrics in a Bob Dylan song, what are we to make? God telling Abraham to take his only son, put him on a wood pile, and set it on fire. Imagine that. What's more, Abraham obeys God. He takes a knife, gathers wood, and while it's not stated in the passage we just heard in the complete reading, he has Isaac carry the wood up the mountain. This passage should disturb us. It seems so outrageous, as if God is grabbing us by the shoulders, shaking us and shouting, "Wake up! Listen to what I am saying." And what is it that God is saying? I am God. I love you. Listen to me. I will not hurt you or harm you. I will not cause you pain. I love you. And what he's asking of Abraham, God is showing us how to order our love. Love God first, above all. Then, all of our other loves will fall into their proper place. Why? Because if and when we love God above all else, we're in his love. We're rightly ordered as we were made to be. That is, in love. And it doesn't mean loving God more by loving others less, nor loving others in some inferior way. The truth really is, we can't completely love one another unless we love God above all else. The point of this passage, as shocking as it is not about how God could ask such a thing, but to ponder Abraham's obedience. And because of his unflinching trust and faith in God, he shows us how and what it means to love God. On that mountain, because of his faith, his obedience, his love for God, Abraham allowed himself to be rightly ordered to be in God's love. And when we fast forward to another mountain scene that we just heard in the gospel, we hear that Peter, James, and John were also confirmed in their faith. They were rightly ordered in God's love because of their obedience. And we know what their part would be in the unfolding of God's plan to come. Maybe our focus this week, in light of the Abraham passage, is not so much how could God ask this, but now that he has gotten our attention, ask, where are we in our faith, in our obedience to God? You know, I stand here as an ordained minister, and it may appear that I am a faithful person, but that's not entirely true. I strive to be faithful. I listen to God, try to live virtuously, but trying is one thing, and demonstrating the obedience and faith of someone like Abraham are worlds apart. It's difficult, not so much for the small stuff. It's generally easy to trust, to obey God in making small sacrifices. But when things don't go the way I would like them to go, or when God seems to be making the so-called big ask, that's another matter. But the key in striving to be faithful, in trying to be obedient, is basically letting go of those attachments we hold on to the things. Maybe there's certain habits, sometimes comforts or pleasures. Maybe it's even health, for example. Whatever they are. Faith involves detachment. It means trust in God who loves us more than we can possibly imagine, and because of that love, wants only the best for us. The rub is that what is truly best for us does not always jive with what we think is best. Friends, God is shouting to us, I love you, trust me, have faith, listen to me. I will not harm you or your loved ones. I love you. To be immersed in and rightly ordered to that love, to allow God to love us though, we have to remove those obstacles that prevent us from trusting Him. Pray to be detached from those worries, those fears, those vices, anything that block us from more fully experiencing God's love for us. Pray that we might have the faith, the obedient disposition of Abraham, who was prepared to offer his only son, and in doing so, come into and abide in God's love.